Well, there we are. 3-2 home win over Leicester. We're still in the Champions League positions, chaps. How does it feel? We're here from Force Reminds. Thanks for joining us. And we're live, as Martin Tyler would say. So we've got, obviously, Dukes here with me and Andy. And returning to the fold after a little bit of an excursion, we've got James from the Anvil. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Have you aged a little bit over the last 3 matches that we've played? Because I'll tell you what, I definitely have.
No, you should have struck. And in those last 3 games, I'd have been like through the bleeding roof. I mean, I'd have probably had to be defibbed the amount of times that we've nearly blown it.
Oh,
so, what is it? My brother texted me this. What is it? We just don't like being 3-0 up. What is it for the entertainment factor? Is it just for the stress? Is it because we're doing a West Ham?
It would seem that way. We never do it easy, do we? That's the thing. All the years I've been supporting us, we've never ever done it easy. But to go have 3 consecutive league games where we go 3-0 up, and then have the other team start coming back at us. I can't remember us ever doing that. I don't know about you guys.
I'll tell you what. It's horrible. It is horrible at the moment being a West Ham fan, going 3-0 up, and still not knowing that is going to be the case. Listen, just while we're here, okay. And before we continue, I'm just going to do this. So if I get this wrong, bear with me. No, it's not you. It's not you. It's me. There we go. Right. I want me. Just me. No one else in the stream. I just want me. It has come to my attention that yesterday I was a bit out of order. And no, this isn't a piss take. This is me being genuine, and I thought I'd do it on here. I want to apologise to Gatesy for disappearing. Gone quite quickly yesterday evening. It was out of order. It was wrong. And I'm sorry to my wingman. A wingman should never leave him to fly solo. So I do apologise, sir. And now you can all come back.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Where were we?
Talking about us bricking every time at 3-0 up.
Yes.
In my words, I think young Jake might be watching, so I'm not going to say it fully, but we are massive.
I think he'd probably know the word that you're missing. To be fair, I don't think he's lived that sheltered a life.
But children could be watching, so I'm going to try and keep my swearing to a minimal.
You've got 27 minutes. It's about right.
You know what? It films it, doesn't it?
But can I just say as well, Alan Smith...
Andy, I just put that up there for you, mate, just so you're aware.
What's that?
So knock yourself out. Jake's over in Athens' chat, I'm guessing. So,
right.
Woohoo! What I want to say is, can Alan Smith then fuck off? Every game he fucking commentates on us is, I feel for West Ham here. I do this. Why don't you do yourself a favour and fuck off? Rant over.
Don't hold back, son. Don't hold back.
Don't sit on the fence. Don't sit on the fence. Tell us what you really think.
That comment
honestly,
comment there is spot on, right? He did
turn around and say if we won, he'd start to believe. So
I have to say, I got off the phone to my old man earlier, right? And the conversation centered around the fact that, a win today puts us back to within that point of Leicester. Knowing that, let's be honest, now, in theory, we have, on paper, 2 difficult games in Chelsea and Everton. What I'd consider to be on paper, 2 difficult games when you look at league placings. And the other 5, let's be honest, are games that we should. I'm not going to say will, should. You know, Brighton, Burnley, Southampton, Newcastle, and West Brom are the 5 games that we should be picking up 15. There's no reason why we shouldn't. If we pick up 15 points from those last, from I'll tell you what, 15 points from our last possible 21, 4th, maybe. I listen. The boys today were outstanding for again 60 odd minutes until we decide to do what we do best. I can't begin to want to be able to talk to West Ham players to smack them around the head a little bit, because I can't be dealing with this anymore. The amount of times that I was grabbing my chest and pulling my hair out and crying into a soft drink that I was having during the game. It was, mate. But now, as James said, I'm beginning to believe. The win today took the pressure off us to go out and get a win against Chelsea or Everton. I believe that. I really do believe a win today took the pressure off of the Chelsea and Everton games. Don't get me wrong, I still want to go out there and win, get the 6 points from those 2 games, but I just think it took the pressure off of a win being essential, because I thought if a draw today, we need to pick up the 3 points from in there. We've got the win today, so a draw, even a defeat, isn't going to be the end of the world, chaps. What do you reckon?
Well, I turned around to James and I said that I thought that if we'd have got a point, it wouldn't have been the worst result in the world. And I still maintain that we're capable of getting Champions League. I seriously do believe it, even if we'd have got the point today. So the fact that we got all 3, it's one of them things. I've supported West Ham so many years and I've seen us come so close and not quite make it so many times that there's still that little part of me that wants to just hold back. Do you know what I mean? And not get wrapped up in it. But I'm finding it increasingly difficult because we have now 7 games. 7 games. And when you look at them, there's only 2 of them that I'm really looking at and thinking that will be tough. And that's the Chelsea and the Everton games. The other 5 I'm looking at and going, we can win them. And as you said, that's 15 points right there. Well, that puts us on 70 points. Now, if we actually manage to get a point out of the 2 awkward games that are Chelsea and Everton, 72 points. Can you honestly say that if we got, and it is an if, I get that, but if we got 72 points, that's surely Champions League football, isn't it, gentlemen?
Can I just say, when I did my predictor about 5 weeks ago, I had us down at getting 72 points. So, I mean, that's where I expected us to be. And that was without really, I had us down for a draw against Spurs. I think I had us down to lose against Chelsea in a draw today. So, mate, I tell you, this is crazy. Just before I want, can we hold off? Oh, sorry. Can we hold off on this comment for now and that comment for now? Because I want to touch on that later when we go elsewhere. So if we can hold off on those comments, I'm taking them ones in a bit because he's the one I want to talk about.
But when you think about it, on the perspective is that point today, and like you said with the chasing, I know it's an if we beat Newcastle on Saturday, we're in 3rd position. I think that's the bit what people have got to realise as well. And the thing is, what I want to understand is, I still want us to be under the radar. If you like, a few comments, what people said yesterday, they didn't talk about us in the top 4 running. I don't care if they don't talk about us. We're just going around our own business, and we'll see who's laughing at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I noticed that we're not getting the plaudits, and I'll pass this on to James to sort of give us his point of view. But I'm quite happy in a funny sort of way that there's, Liverpool won yesterday. Chelsea won yesterday, and they were straight away. All the plaudits were going their way, and I saw a lot of comments on social media saying, "Why are we not getting the credit?" And I agree with you, Andy. I'm quite happy to go under the radar. Don't draw attention to us. Don't take us seriously, because I tell you what, they did the same thing to Leicester in 2016. Exactly the same thing. Everyone was writing them off. Even Gary Lineker himself, who is a self-professed Leicester fan, a former Leicester player, didn't take it seriously until probably, even with sort of like 5 games to go, I think he was probably still like that, and probably still thinking that Tottenham would come back and do it. So I'm quite happy. I'm like, do you know what? Write us off, because let's have it right. Even if the wheels came off, and I don't think they will, because we've been so resilient all season that we've got this sort of inner belief that, we've lost we lost Declan Rice, we lost Michael Antonio, we've possibly now lost Mark Noble. Who knows? I still believe that Moyes will find a way. I seriously do. So I'm quite happy to be wrote off. Over to you, James. What's your thoughts? James?
And we're live.
He don't want to give you his thoughts.
No. Are you still with us, James? I think he's dropped out. All right, I'll pass it over to you then, Andy.
Is he back? Is he back?
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you what, we'll see how he gets on. You carry on. So
Is he back?
What do you think about that, Andy? I mean, sort of like, would you be happier if they started giving us credit and started saying, yes, we can do it?
The way I see it is, I don't think they'll give us credit until we get a big result. For example, if if we get a draw or a win against Chelsea, I think the game next week is irrelevant until we get the credit. But after that, so how many games will we have after Chelsea? Is that 5 games
6
left after Chelsea? Oh, after
5. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So then that's when the thingy. But we're not under pressure. We're not a Liverpool or Tottenham or whatever, where we have to have Champions League football. Like we don't have to. And I think that's the good thing about it. We don't have to sit around and wait. So I'm happy. Like you said, the one station is I can't stand it is TalkSport, and I don't really listen to. I don't know. I think I've tagged you boys in a couple of the articles, and it's the it's the late shows. I don't know, the Sports Bar. They're giving us credit on there, and like Jason I don't know. Is it Perry or something? But no, I'm happy going under the radar, and I think it'll be nice for us to put the pressure for a change.
Hey, Gatesy, I don't know what just happened there, but whoever that was just flashed the world, or the 16 of us still real.
And we're live.
Bonus.
I love it. It's one for the ladies.
No, on all seriousness.
Brilliant.
I love it. He obviously didn't know we were live.
No, on all seriousness.
You will in a minute.
On all seriousness, no, it'll be nice to put pressure on the teams above if we do go third next Saturday. It would be nice to feel that less pressure, because I don't think we can go out of the top 4 if we win next week, can we? I don't think anyone can catch us.
I think if we get all 3 next week, I think top 4 is assured for another week, surely. Yeah. So, are you with us, James? Oh,
yeah, I think so.
We're just discussing the fact that we're not getting the plaudits.
He's done it.
Oh, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
You can leave your hat on.
You can leave his towel on, I know that. Gatesy's there going, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him.
Let's see how.
Poor old James is like, I don't even know what's going on. I've missed this. What's happening?
Oh.
James, is your internet knackered? Yeah, looks like it is. Brilliant.
I think that answers it for you.
I got my son doing a striptease behind me, and we got Canadian internet that's disappearing up its own arse. Seriously.
I'll tell you what, this is a great show. This one, I'm glad. If I may go with this man's comment here. You know what? I'm not being negative when I say maybe. What I'm being is I'm being realistic, right? We have the smallest squad that. Is he got on mute? And he's got on one. He's got on mute. You know, he's in deep shit right now. Owen is in deep shit.
Are you with us, James?
James?
Oh,
Talk
hang on,
to me.
he's back.
James?
Yeah?
I don't even think James knows anymore.
Are you alive?
I don't know what's going on. The phone's being stupid.
Can you
No, I'm trying
try giving it a slap?
Turn it off and on again.
Give it a slap. Oh, no, he had a t-shirt on. That was the other one. That's all right. He's got dressed.
The Gates Monty.
Yeah, tell me.
He's dressed in the background. Look, he knows he's feeling a bit sheepish. Going up the stairs, he's a bit sheepish. He's like, oh, God.
So, James.
Tell you what, right. If we get the 500 subscribers, I'm going to sing Gatesy's in a hippo, and now his son's going to have to come to the pub dressed in a towel. That's it. Right, we're done. Carry on.
Yeah, James, we can see. Go. Talk, James. Go.
Your thoughts on us going under the radar, mate? Are you happy with that?
Well, I think that kill him.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting with bated breath.
Is this working?
Yeah, kind of.
After a fashion.
It's not doing it. Oh, we're working. Oh, damn. Sorry. Yeah. Being under the radar. I think all season we've had a point through. We won. What?
No. It's just this is great. I'm loving it.
Carry on, mate.
Yeah. I think we've had a point season. Boyce has had a bit of as manager. You know, he's been criticised a lot because I think we've been using negative tactics in the past, but this season he's brought a group of players together really, really well. I think I like us being an underdog team, really, because, like I said, it makes other people look stupid when we actually do accomplish it. And I think we were expected to play this season. Not a lot of critics expect us to play as badly as how my Wi-Fi is just in our data. But I think we've been good all season, I think, and we've been playing really well. So yeah, I'm happy with us being under the radar, and I want to see what we do in the last 8 games of the season or so.
Fair enough. Your thoughts, Duke?
Listen, I think Mike mentioned it in a comment a bit further back, mate. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. That one there. No, you've. I like that comment.
Might well
Let me
have
go back
been.
to this one. That one there. we just need to be in with a chance come the last day of the season. You know what? There's no reason why we can't. Yes, we have a very depleted squad now, and dependent on obviously what happened there with Nobes during the game, whether that was what have I done? I pressed the wrong button. No, I haven't. Never good. You know, whether that was a dislocated elbow or whatever, but there was a lot of obvious pain down. Was it the right side, left side? I don't know. He hurt an arm, and he looked like he was in an obvious lot of pain as he came off the pitch there. So hopefully that's not another problem. But listen, you go back a few weeks ago, and I was one of the ones screaming for some acknowledgement from those that are broadcasting live to the world, unlike us, to the 10 people that are lovingly watching. I wanted the recognition. I wanted I wanted people to sit up and take notice and talk about us for a fucking change. Sky Sports in the morning banging on about their top four when two of their top four are sitting in like 5th and 6th or 7th and 8th. Where's our acknowledgement of how well we're fucking doing? And it was one of the guys we're talking about. You keep talking about the top four, the top 6, yet you've not mentioned West Ham once. Now I'm of a mind that the longer this goes on, as James said, it's embarrassing for others because we're still little West Ham in a lot of people's eyes. Charlie, I think it was Charlie Walsh was talking earlier on the watch along with Hammer's Chat, and he said a lot of his family members that don't follow football keep texting him and going, "Oh, West Ham are fourth, they're doing well, aren't they?" Sharp, listen, I've changed my mind. If we can go under the radar for another 3, maybe 4 games without people sitting up and paying attention, no, Mike. Without people sitting up and paying attention, and we go into them last 4 games knowing that we've got that chance. If everyone then wants to start talking about us, knock yourself out. 4 games to go, and we're still thereabouts, ready for that final charge for that Champions League spot. Listen, I go under the radar all day long. There was a time once, like I say, I wanted the recognition. Now, fuck you. Let us sneak in through the back door. I don't give a monkeys.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't want them to take us seriously. I want them to take us seriously when it's too late for them to do anything about it. Do you know what I mean?
There it is.
For me, both positions are up for grabs, 3rd and 4th. And with Leicester's tough game and the FA Cup on their mind, I could see them be the ones to drop out.
Quite possible.
But yeah, no, it's like you said, we never started to believe that we'll be in this position. It was, but I just can't see us losing. Every game we go in, we're gonna. I think it's only like Kent may know. I think it may be only like 4 or 5 games this season we haven't scored in.
Yeah.
Even though we've lost the game, so yeah, no, I'm happy. And yeah, no, I agree what Kent says there about Coventry. You don't trust him. He's come out and said it, and it's wrong.
Yeah, I've been quite sort of vocal and said that the only way we're going to know whether he's Premier League quality is if he plays Premier League minutes. Maybe he isn't good enough. I've not said he is good enough. I'm just saying, how can I make a judgment on whether he's good enough for the Premier League when I've not seen him in the Premier League?
See, today would have been the perfect game for him to come in to see what he's like. That's under pressure. That's under pressure, and we should have.
Yeah. But okay, I'm just going to get the little stats that I've put together for the good ladies and gentlemen at home, just to sort of like put a little bit of context. I'll go full screen with it. So in the match today, we created 4 shots, all 4 of them on target, and we scored 3. 36% possession, and we won the game 3-2. So I mean, this is just bearing out the fact that possession isn't always 9/10 of the law as far as the results concerned, is it, chaps?
Listen, you
No.
love bringing that up every time we win and we don't have a lot of possession, don't you? Just because when we first started this channel, I was banging on about how we need to get more possession in the game. And you were like, no, look at these games. And you brought up about 4 or 5. And I was like, yeah, all right, then, fair enough. That's a fair enough comment. And now it's just like it's a big stick that you just keep beating me with. And it's like you enjoy it.
The only one that worries me is the pass accuracy. That's still quite low, but do you know what? If you win a game 3-2, quite frankly, who cares? But so that was our starting lineup. Now they had it down as a 4-2-3-1, but on Sky they had it down as a back three. But you know, I think it was one of them things. It was maybe 4-2-3-1 when we were defending, or 5-3-2 when we were defending, and maybe 3-4-3 when we were going forwards, or whatever. You know, it was quite a fluid.
There's a lot of numbers there, mate.
Yeah, but and then that was Leicester. Now they obviously had 3 players that were ruled out because they were rather naughty, and they went to a party and didn't adhere to COVID protocols and all the rest of it. But I think out of those 3 players, there was probably only one that would have made the starting 11, and that was James
Well, I'll
Maddison.
say thank you to them.
Absolutely, because obviously they weren't involved from the bench. I mean, did you see their bench? It was like, wow. You know, I mean, if you
We thought ours was bad.
I was going to say, we thought ours was bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we move on. We've got the stats as far as the attempts were concerned. Now look at that. The conversion rate at the bottom, 75%. Theirs was 13. And that's all you need to do. You just need to create chances and be efficient. That's really what it boils down to, isn't it, gents?
Yeah, but listen, that one at the end of the game, though. How many of your bumholes puckered up? Let's be honest. How many of you went when Fofana's header? And the fact that Fabianski literally waved it away like a ball, like a bullfire. Ole! I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Honest to God, at least make it look like you were attempting, because a bit like whose was the goal? There was a goal during. It might have even been third. In fact, it was Jesse Lingard's one. It was Jesse Lingard's volley on the edge of the box, where Schmeichel just kind of stood there because it was going wide. Let's not dick around. That started outside the post and crept in. And Schmeichel just kind of watched it and went, shit. And I thought Fab was going to do exactly the same thing at the end of the game. Fofana's header came in and he just kind of went, yeah, whatever. My heart fell out of my rear end. I won't lie to you. I was like, oh, my God. And then the referee blew the whistle and we were fourth. So, it didn't matter, did it?
Saying that, I mean, now I'm going to bring this next one up. Just bear with me to the tip. So this is the passing. And I said this before we went live to you, gents. And just looking at that, the passing numbers for Leicester, 666. Now, they had an opportunity, I believe, at the end of the game, 3-2 down away from home against a fellow team that's chasing for the Champions League. And now, I'm not sort of like saying they should have gone sort of like John Beck Cambridge style, maybe, but I don't think that in that situation a little bit more direct football would have been out of line. What do you think? I mean, I was watching and it was like, they're still playing through the thirds. They should just be getting forward, loading the box up, getting it in, and testing the goalkeeper. But by the time they got it sort of like further forwards, there was like an extra 30, 40 seconds that had been wasted, and it was like at that stage that's critical. Do you know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
It's I don't really care how we play now for the rest of the season, as long as we get the results. I really don't, and it sounds very cliche, but it does. If we scrape a 1-0 win away to Newcastle, don't really care how we win. To be perfectly honest, I don't. I know, like I've just said it, but I really don't care. All I care about is the results.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. For me, how we achieve it is secondary. Just looking at the fouls and the cards stats. I mean, we got three yellow cards. They got 3 yellow cards. Now, here's one for you gentlemen to discuss. Wilfred Ndidi.
Oh,
Now he picked up a yellow card, did he not? So I'll bring this one to James. I'll let him have a crack at this one. So Wilfred Ndidi's on a yellow card in the second half. He commits another challenge, which, in my opinion, was another yellow card. But Mike Dean didn't produce it. Now, what are your thoughts? Was that a foul in your opinion? Should that have been a second yellow?
I think overall in the game, Leicester were putting a few rash tackles and had quite a lot of bookies. But with this incident, I think I thought it was second yellow first, really. So he does drag the player down, really. So yeah, if I would actually give him second yellow for that, there would have changed the game. Obviously, it would have made that midfield a lot less than what it was. So I think it was a second yellow personally, but I don't understand why it wasn't given because.
And that could have been critical. I mean, if they'd have equalised and made it 3-3,
if you're on the yellow card, you can't.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, Gatesy.
No, it's fine. It's just I'm struggling to hear what James is saying. To be honest with you, I don't know about you two.
Mike Dean, he did kind of bottle it.
Yeah.
Now, the thing what annoyed me more about Mike Dean is just it winds me up more and more. It's just his smugness. Every time he gave us a card, he walks up and he just goes, "Why don't you do yourself a favour and fuck off?"
Well, he likes to be the centre of attention, doesn't he?
But no, our cards. How the hell Johnny Evans didn't get a card on that whole game? He made more fouls than anyone. He didn't even get a card. And but no, it was the Mike Dean show. But for once, it didn't cost us.
Yeah. So just looking there, gents. So that was where we centred our attacks. 40% went down our left, 44 down our right. Only 16% through the middle.
Yeah.
Do you want to go, Duke, first?
We set up for I was just saying we set up for wide play though. I mean, when you consider obviously you've got Masuaku out there who was, and Fornells, Bowen, Lingard, they all kind of, bar Mash, the other three interchanged really well at times, so I can understand why we played, a lot more out on the flanks. I'll be honest, I actually thought it came a lot more down the left. I thought there was a lot more that went through Masuaku, to be fair. Again, good cross for the first goal. Jesse's goal there was a great cross. Sorry, James. No one on the end of it. Obviously, came back out to Soufal. Jesse on the edge of the box. Absolutely, God knows where he pulled that out of. I know he's capable of it, but that was just something else for a finish.
Schmeichel never moved, did he? Because he couldn't see it until it got past Castagna. And it was past him, it was too late. He couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, without that, it was such a finish.
Sorry,
I'm going to disagree with James there.
Yeah.
I thought up until 65 minutes, I thought Masuaku was. He wasn't the best player on the pitch. He didn't have, he wasn't outstanding or out of this world, but he did his job. And until 65 minutes when he was blowing out of his arsehole. It's his second game back. It's his second start in 4 or 5 months after injury. So of course he's going to be blowing out of his arse. And the second Cresswell went off, he wasn't being substituted. He was staying on. So I know where James is coming from, and I know James's comments about Mass, and I get it, and we have that backwards and forwards, but I think credit's got to be given where credit's due. And up until 65 minutes, he was there. He did his job. He did what he had to do. Injuries didn't fall our way today with the likes of with the likes of Noble going off, Cresswell pulling up like he did, and then dropping like a sack of spuds. So James, he might have done. He might have cost us the goal that that started the Leicester comeback. But again, he wouldn't have been on the pitch if Cresswell had been, hadn't been injured, because it would have been him that had gone off because of his fitness started to dwindle. And once that happens, things like this are going to happen. Yeah, game is 90-minute, James. I get that, but take 4 months out of doing absolutely jack shit and then try and come back into a Premier League game and try and last for a full 90 minutes without blowing out your arsehole. Sorry, mate, it don't work.
Yeah, but I'm going to back you up, Duke, on that thing. Well, what did Lingard do in the last half an hour? Did he have a bad game?
Lingard struggled that last half hour, massively struggled. It's Lingard, isn't it? And we're without being rude or facetious, we're going to give him a hand job underneath the table because he's Lingard. Whereas Masuaku does the same thing and might concede a goal because he's blowing out of his arsehole, but we're going to absolutely slam him and throw him to the walls.
And he was involved in 2 goals.
Yeah, no, he was. Fair enough. But I think that the removal of Cresswell was for what I hope isn't more than just a sort of like a little bit of a knock, and that he's back for the Newcastle game, and it's not something maybe a bit more serious.
So did Masuaku.
What's that?
So did Masuaku influence us in 2 goals? If Masuaku weren't involved in it, we wouldn't have scored.
Yeah, that's true. I think he was handicapped by the fact that obviously Cresswell went off with the injury, because obviously both the goals came down the left-hand side, fair enough, but they came after Cresswell went off. And obviously once he came off, then it was expected for Masuaku just to drop in a little bit deeper. I mean, Cowell made the point that he had a good game, and it was only after we started defending that's when he was getting exposed. And as we've all discussed, he can't defend.
Sorry.
Yeah, but then neither can. But then without being, I'll tell you what, without being facetious or trying to start an argument. All right. Where was James Fever slagging off Ben Rama when Ben Rama didn't track back, and it was Ben Rama's fault that we conceded the goals against Arsenal when we drew 3-3 because he didn't defend? We can't slag off Ben Rama for not doing that, but we're going to have a go at Masuaku for being at fault for one of the 2 goals today that Leicester scored, because he's blowing out of his arsehole because he's absolutely knackered and coming in for his first 2 games. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Listen, we know that Masuaku can't defend. We get that. We understand that. That is what it is. And the second that Cresswell went off, we looked vulnerable. But we also know that Ben Rama can't defend, or should I change that? He doesn't defend. And therefore we concede the goals against Arsenal like we do, which cost us the game. Let's be perfectly clear here. We were clear, and then they came out and stand the left-hand side, our left. And that's what cost us the game.
Fair enough.
Hold up.
Masuaku's not a left back. Huh?
Masuaku's not a left back.
No,
we all know this. We've all played this.
He's a poor impression of it. So, well, anyway, he's sitting in the green room. I think he wants to talk to you, Duke. There he is.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, mate. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm good, mate. Happy with the result. I believed in the team. I said that we'd win, and we won. I believed it all week. At the end of the day, Masuaku might have been out for X amount of time, but if Leicester would have equalised in the last minutes, right, whose fault would it have been? Masuaku, we are 3-0 up, comfortable, and he is pouncing about in his 18-yard box with his fancy footwork and trying to muck about with passes.
No.
He crossed the ball. He crossed the ball in the box and he overran it. The ball come back. But you don't praise Kufala, do you?
We haven't got to that yet.
No, Kufal was arguably one of the best players today, along with Diop and Dawson. Right, listen, Masuaku, he might have fancy footwork, but do you fancy him to defend it outside your 18-yard box? Say no more.
No, you're wrong, James. You're wrong.
Explain to me. Explain to me how.
Right, so Souček's pass was short. He miscontrolled the ball. Like, his pass was short. It's not like
passing was short. His passing was short all day.
Andy, it was Masuaku that was passed to. But James, I guarantee you now, and I tell you this now, right? If anyone else had been on the receiving end of that pass from Souček, other than Masuaku, you wouldn't be laying it down like you are against Masuaku for that missing.
If Johnson done that,
hold on. Right, you said about Ben Rama not tracking back in the Arsenal game. Where's Cresswell, who's supposed to be a defender? Nowhere to be seen, right? And everyone's comparing it to Masuaku
being absolutely ruined by the two players that are coming at him. I don't know what you want him to do there.
Are you telling me we can't go and get a better left wing back?
James, it's this season
right now. No,
it's this season.
Right. Can I just interject at this point, gents? Have we forgotten that?
Yeah, but listen, we are full. I was the one. I don't know about everyone else here, but I was the one who turned around and said we will win today. I was confident that we will win and we'd win well. And everyone said, and I've heard it on so many different platforms. Oh no, we're not supposed to be Champions League. We're being realistic with this, with that. I'm sorry, but we're seventh. We are 7 games from glory, and everyone's treating it like we shouldn't be there. We're there. The table doesn't lie. We are 4th in the league, 1 point off a 3rd, because we're the 4th best team in the league. Fact, right? Now, if you want to get into the game, with the nitty gritty of it, I'll go through it. Fabianski played really well today, made some good saves. Pereira, he's 1-on-1 with Pereira, done brilliant, right? No one's mentioned Kafal, how well Kafal was, assisted one of the goals, right? Hold on a minute, right? Diop, everyone slags off Diop every week, saying he can't defend, he can't do this. Brilliant performance today, right? You got Dawson, another good performance. Cresswell was getting exposed in the first 20 minutes, right? They was having people on him within the first 20 minutes, and you got Masuaku mucking about with balls outside his 6-yard box. You're telling me he's put one good cross in all day? One.
No, and Masuaku was involved in 2 goals, yeah? And like I said, we were only talking about that. We haven't got to anyone else apart from...
I'm here. What 2 goals was he involved in?
Who put the ball in? And I hasten to add a very good ball that no one attacked inside the box that came out to Soufal that Soufal then put back. If Masuaku hadn't been in that position and beat his man his man down the wing to get the crossing, it wouldn't have got there.
Well, that's
the third goal, he played the ball into Lingard when Lingard had space to Souček.
Yeah, exactly. What Andy said, I was about to say. Masuaku is a carbon. The goal the 3rd goal. That's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like a Masuaku gets the ball back and he plays it, and that's what people aren't getting. Souček's not selfish in that situation, but Masuaku actually contributes to that goal more than you think. So I like to give Masuaku credit for setting up the goal.
Listen, the first goal, he crosses the ball and he overhits it. Hold a minute. The ball comes crossed in the first goal. He's overhits it.
The ball in the box.
Right, okay then. No one attacks. Right. No one attacks the ball. Yeah. No one attacks the ball. So all you can do is name me 2 things he's done all game in 90 minutes. And also, he's at fault for the Leicester goal. Hold a minute, he's at fault for the Leicester equaliser, Leicester's first goal.
We didn't lose the game.
Ben Rama is, yeah.
What do you mean Ben Rama is what?
No, but I think Moyes makes a point when he says that he doesn't want West Ham where we go 3.
Well, I'll tell you something now, lads. I'll tell you what, I'm going to love all your confidence now Cresswell's out. He's got to play left back.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, he's out, mate. He's out. He's got a hamstring problem, right? So now everyone's
the club confirmed that, James.
He's got an hamstring problem. 100%.
Has the club confirmed that, James?
Well, I'm telling you, for the people I know, he's got a hamstring problem, right? So
I appreciate that, but has the club confirmed that? That's what I'm driving at.
There's no confirmation from the club, but I'll say it again. And I'll say it the last time. He's got an hamstring problem.
Yeah, I agree that's my opinion.
In 2 days.
I've got glasses. I'm blind. Like, and until it's facts, like you can't say nothing until the club come out and say.
I'll tell you what we should do. Yeah, when people say about left wing back, yeah, I understand that. Mass has to play there because he's the only left footer at the fucking club, right? Other than Bowen, who's a winger, right? So he has to play there. But no one can sit here and say to me that he's a good defender outside his 18-yard box. I'm sorry, you're blinded.
Said that, James.
You're blinded. You're blinded.
No one said that.
In fairness,
right? And then you're comparing him to Lingard. People like Andy said, "Oh, I'm going to compare him to Lingard." Look what did Lingard? I'm there. What did Lingard do? What did Lingard? Mate, I'm not. I don't know what I'm hearing. I'm hearing some delusional stuff here.
Right, so James, what did Lingard do in the last 25 minutes game?
Right, go on.
What did Lingard do in the last 25 minutes of that game?
What did he do in the first? What did he do in the first 45?
What did Masuaku do? No, Masuaku was involved in 2 goals. So was Lingard. Right?
No, Masuaku was involved in 1 goal in the first half.
2 fucking goals, James. Fucking
no, he was involved in 1 goal.
He passed the ball to Stuchek. He passed the ball to Stuchek to the second goal, and he.
Rob, can you tell me when Bowen scored, please?
In the second half.
Exactly, right? So we're talking about the first half, yeah? Is that what we're talking about here?
We're saying he was involved in 2 goals, and same as Jesse Lingard was involved in 2 goals.
Right, Jesse Lingard, right? He's crossed the ball in, yeah, over it. Someone should have been in there, right?
Oh, fucking hell. I can't be doing this. He weren't, James. It wasn't overhit. No one fucking attacked it. You're talking shit, mate. It was a great ball into the box that no one attacked. If we'd had an attacker on the pitch, different story. If we'd had someone like, for instance, a goal poacher, take your pick. If we'd had a Vardy on the pitch, if we had Vardy, if we'd had someone of that ilk attacking that ball, guess what? It's a chance created. We didn't have an attacker on the pitch. It weren't over it. No one attacked it. End of story, mate. I can't be dealing with this. It just seems like you have an agenda against Masuaku. Listen, I get it. I don't care. Are
you telling me right now we can't go and get a better left wing back?
We can't.
Are you telling me right now?
It's the fucking middle of the season, James. We're on about now.
Listen, right? No, listen, right? Don't keep praising him up. When he does 2 things good, you go, oh yeah, he's done 2 things good. But he nearly cost us the fucking game today, or has anyone ever forgot that?
James. He didn't cost us the game.
Right, so if we draw that game today, I tell you what, do yourself a favour, go on Twitter and go run down all the people who are saying, what the fuck is Masuaku doing? Right?
Yeah, for that goal, I get that. I get that. Yeah. For that goal, he made 1 mistake then, James.
1 mistake, mate.
1 mistake was involved in 2
goals.
You know what? Guys, can we calm it down? Yeah. Let's calm it down. Let's get a little bit of perspective here, guys. I've let you have your say, and I've let you have your little vent off, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, we can sit here and we can pick the holes out of players' performances and all the rest of it. Bottom line is, we won the game by hook or by crook. That's really the important thing. I mean, you said it earlier, Andy. You're not too fussed about how we do it. We need to just win the games. 8 cup finals is now 7 cup finals. So we're in 4th. So why are we arguing amongst ourselves?
Well, we're going to find out in the next few weeks, because I know for a fact Cresswell's out, right? And that's up to you. You're going to find out in a few days when it comes out. He's out, right? Now, we've got a problem now at left back, right? Do you put Masuaku there, who you know can't defend, right? We all know it, yeah?
Johnson there.
Right, so you're going to put...
That's what I said.
Kent's made a point.
And that's my point. That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
not a fan, mate.
I mean, look, I agree with you, James. I think that probably Cresswell is out. But as I say, I'm just saying until it's confirmed by the club, we'll wait and see.
It will. Well, when you find out, you find out. I think it's about a month.
Well, listen, I think it's quite likely he will be. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think by the looks of things, I think he's out 4 to 6 weeks. That's the usual
The
prognosis for
the only
for a
way,
hamstring tear, isn't it?
the only way you get round this now is you don't go down the left. You have to keep it. You have to keep Masuaku there, yeah, and you're going to have to either put Kafal as your third centre half, and then go like Ben Johnson on the right back position or Ryan Fredericks. That's the only way you can do it if you're playing a 5. If you go the other way, right, if you go back to a flat back 4-4-2-3-1 system, we're going to be. We all know that he's no good defensively. At the end of the day, yeah, like people can say about Ben Rama, but Ben, as you keep saying, Robin, you've told me multiple times on different platforms, we didn't pay 25 million, 30 million pounds for a fucking right wing back.
Fullback. No.
Yes,
no,
what I'm saying.
So,
and when I criticise Masuaku, he's been here 6 years. Remember that. He's not been here a year or 6 months or 4 months. He's been here 6 years. Like, and a couple of crosses in the box, right, doesn't justify some of the things that he has done, like i.e. giving away the first goal today. Today was his that goal. If you check it back, he's not reading the game. He's short to the ball. He's too far up the pitch, and they get exposed straight away. And he's sleeping. And that goal could have changed us around.
Let me put this to you, playing devil's advocate for the sake of a conversation. Cresswell doesn't come off injured. Do we concede those 2 goals?
Let's be honest. Before it was happening, it was coming. I was building up pressure slowly, but they weren't. But we had them contained. Right, that's the difference. We had Leicester contained well, yeah. But as soon as Cresswell come off, obviously that imbalanced it. But let's be honest, Balbuena come on and done all right. Balbuena was pretty decent, in my opinion. I don't know about anyone else's here. I thought Diop was good. I thought Dawson was good. Kafal was excellent as usual. Right? But that just, I'm not being funny enough, I think. Everyone can say about Diop, oh, yeah, he's no good, he's this, he's that, he can't do it. I'll say one thing today, which could have cost us 3 points today. Because Leicester, let's be honest, if Leicester had another 5 minutes, they would have scored the other one and all. It was just they just run out of time at the right time.
But it's all ifs and ands, isn't it? If my aunt had What's-It, she'd be my uncle. They didn't have an extra 5 minutes, and we won the game 3-2. And at the end of the day, that is all that matters. No, nothing more, nothing less. Cal, you're sitting there rather quietly, young man.
I was just in the middle of that chaos. I was just trying to digest it there. I think it was a bit blown out there. I agree with this. There's parts you can pick from each side, like of that sort of disagreement there. Like I think, as you said, Lingard wasn't great, but I don't think it was Balbuena. It definitely wasn't Balbuena's worst game. I think he was good in the first half. I think he was good for the first 10-15 minutes. He's good while we're attacking. We switched off. We just said, all right, here's everything. You can just go all out at us. We didn't even have the counter with us. And once we switch off, he's going to switch off, because I wouldn't even count him as a left wing back. I'd say he's a left mid. I'd say that's just a 4.5 at the back when he's there. Like, you're just relying, he's an extra body back there, but he's not doing any defending. So whenever we switch to that sort of everyone get back and shut up shop, we're defending now, which I don't understand why we do. I know Ben Johnson technically wasn't the first person on because of the injury, but anytime we put Ben Johnson on, and this isn't me knocking him personally, but like anytime it seems to be Ben Johnson on straight away, we go defensively, we lose our counter attack because he's not great on the ball yet. He can't sort of play the football and keep the pace with it. We lose everything whenever Ben Johnson comes on because we just go defensive and we end up crumbling.
No,
it's
fair enough.
like,
oh, hang on, I just lost James. Oh, there he's back. All right, I think.
But I wouldn't be going mad at Masuaku anyway. I think he even said it on Twitter himself. I think he something at Rice. He knows he made a balls of it, and he's bound to make balls of things because that's what he does. He wants the ball too much to himself. But in attacking wise, I think he was involved in the 2 goals, and he brings the ball up the pitch as well as anyone in the team does. He's probably in the top 3. Him, Lingard, and Ben Ram are the best lads at bringing the ball up the pitch. So I as James was asking, can we get a better left wing back? We can get a better everything. That's what you want. We're not buying to put someone on the bench. You want to buy someone who's better to challenge. So of course we can. It's just I don't think we will. I don't think that's a priority right now.
Okay. Well, we're coming to the last 5 minutes or so of the stream, so we'll do player rating, shall we, gentlemen? So we'll start with Duke. Fabianski.
7.
Milesy.
9 for me.
9.
I don't think you could do anything. I don't think you could do anything for the 2 goals, but the prime examples for me was his coming out and grabbing the ball when Leicester were going through, and that great save from Pereira. If that Pereira shot goes in, I think that's a totally different game. So no, I thought he was the best player on the pitch today.
Fair enough. James?
Which one?
8.
8.
Sorry, I forgot we had 2 Jameses. I do apologise.
Fabianski.
You're going for 8 for Fabianski, James, from the Anvil, James.
Yeah, 8.
Okay. James Fever?
8. 8, superb. He stopped Pereira at a key time, done some good saves. It's pretty solid, couldn't do anything for the goals.
And Carl?
I'll agree with Andy, and I'll give him a 9 because I don't think there was anything he could have really done differently. He saved us when we needed saving, and there wasn't anything he could do about the goals that went in.
Fair enough. Soufal? Duke?
8.
8. Care to elaborate?
Played well.
Fair enough.
That's all I got.
Milesy?
That's all I got.
No, his usual. He's normally 7 or 8 out of 10, but yeah, I'm going to give him 8 for me. Where his energy, what he contributed, and I thought he helped Barbarino out, especially when he come on. Don't get me wrong, the second goal was a bit poor, but for helping him out, covering, just coming into the game under the pressure. So yeah, he really helped.
James Fever?
9 for me, mate. Top class performance. Done everything what he does well. Kept that side well. Kept Vardy quiet on that side. Top class.
Carl? Thoughts on Soufal?
Yeah, 8. He just gave one of his typical shutout performances, sort of 7 out of 10, and then he got that goal involvement, which just bumps it up to an 8 for me.
And James from the Anvil?
8. I'm going to give him an 8 because he was energetic today.
Fair enough. Moving across, Craig Dawson. Duke?
Dawson, I'm going to give him a... Do give him a 7.5, Gatesy. 7.5. Wasn't perfect. I think same with Fab and with Soufal there. I think two goals conceded will take the edge off of any performance, and the other boys there have obviously given them 9s and such. And I'm not going to disagree with them. If we kept a clean sheet, they would have got 9s from me. But I think 2 goals from Leicester there do have an effect on overall ratings. So. Dawson didn't have a bad game, didn't have a good game. Kind of, he was there when he had a bit of a giggle with Fabianski when he got battered in the box, shall we say? So yeah, I think he did. Yeah. Yeah, the idea.
7 for me. I thought there was a couple of, like we said, he's more of an old school player, and I thought a couple of times he tried to play it out from the back when he should just do what he does and clear it. But no, he done a good performance, but a 7 for me because of the goals conceded. They were in his part of the area.
Fair enough. James Fever?
Before the goals went in, I would have given him a 9, mate. I thought he was top class with Diop, but 2 goals conceded drops it down to a 7.
Fair enough. Cahill?
Yeah, it's same as what the lads have said. It's a 7. Like I don't think there's any problem with not really recognizing the performance from a defender. Just he was quiet. Like you didn't have to see much because there wasn't much for the. They seem to attack a lot, sort of out wide, and just they didn't seem to get through the middle a lot unless they went out wide for it. And there was the scrappy goal they got through Masuaku's pass through the middle, but that was nothing to do with it. But when you don't have to recognise a defender's performance, I think that's nearly as good as just making some class tackles. And so I'd give him a 7 for that.
Fair enough. And James Anvil.
7, because I thought he was good, but like I say, he did concede 2 goals, so 7.
Fair enough. So his centre-half partner, Issa Diop. Duke, what's your thoughts? What would you rate him?
Again, he didn't have a bad game. But he wasn't. It wasn't an outstanding performance. He kind of the back four kind of go under the radar with regards to the back five go under the radar with regards to ratings on a performance when you consider that all the time we don't concede goals, that we weren't really under a great deal of attacking pressure, if you will, that they had to be, digging in deep and really putting in a shift. It was only once we were 3-0 up that, things started to go. So, again, a 7.5 for Diop, wasn't an outstanding performance, wasn't one that, really let everything down. It's, 7.5 for me.
I think that this comment here is rather interesting. Masuaku is 4 up at the Masters.
Yeah, but he doesn't get credit for the second up shot, so it's all right.
Mosey,
he probably can't defend anyway. He's like,
it was a problem with that second shot. It was overhit.
100% was. That's why Kafar assisted it. You know what I mean?
No, and also, Diop was an 8 for me. I thought out of the two, I thought he was the one who was more commanding and wanted to get involved. And Vardy didn't have a sniff at all. I know you can credit Soufal as well, but Iniacho was sort of getting away from him as well. And like Kent commented as well, what a pass for Bowen. That was a fantastic ball over the top. So I just hope he can. I think with all the injuries, he'll stay on the side, and hopefully we'll see the potential what we reckon he's going to be.
Sure.
Fair enough. James Fever?
8 for me, mate. That pass for Bowen. If that was anyone else in the Premier League, everyone would have been raving about it. That pass straight over the top was good. The weight on it was perfect. Wasn't under it, over it. It was just perfect. And 8 for me. I thought he defended half decent, unlike he normally does. So you credit where credit's due. He's semi-assisted a goal and he's defended better than he usually does. So yeah, 8.
Fair enough. Cahill?
Yeah, I'll give him an 8 as well. The ball gives him an extra. The ball over gives him an extra point on Dawson, but they both had decent games. I just more with Diop than Dawson. I just still have no personal confidence in them. Or not in them. I'd have more confidence in Dawson than I would in Diop. He just sort of, I don't know. There's just something about him that I don't have full trust in him, and I feel like he's just he's a bit like Bambi on ice, as someone said there in the chat, and he just makes me nervous at times.
Fair enough. And James Anvil?
I'm going to give him an 8 because that ball to Bowen for the second goal was class. I think Diop was unfortunate not to score that headed goal, but he's good at getting into those positions to score, especially from set pieces and crosses. So he wasn't lucky not to score today, but he put in a good shift today, Diop. I'll give him an 8.
Fair enough. We've just had someone drop into the stream. If he says anything about hippos, I'm going to kill him. Well, you come to us, West Ham Online, as we're marking Issa Diop. I'll give you a chance to give your rating on him.
Yeah, as I say, I watched the game late because I had a match of my own, so I might be a bit biased here because I didn't watch from a point of anger because I already knew the score. I wasn't like fuming at the end when we were all going pot crazy, nearly bottled it again. But to be honest, I thought Diop overall wasn't too bad today. I thought he done all right, to be fair. I'd give him a 7. I wouldn't say either of the goals were really his fault. Yeah, I'd give him a 7. I thought he was comfortable for the majority of the game, and I was relatively happy with the way he played today, and also he done that brilliant ball to Bowen for Lingard's second goal. So I've got to mark him up for that as well. So 7, possibly even if we were doing half marks, 7.5.
I'll allow half marks. I don't mind half marks. When I've popped on to a Hammers chat before and I've tried giving half marks, Gio's told me off, but I'll allow it. I don't mind. So we move on. Aaron Cresswell, Duke.
Up until he went off, mate. I mean, again, it was one of them performances where job was done. Really, it's quite simple, isn't it? You kind of expect a guy out there and the job that they're paid to do. 8.
Okay, Milesy.
Agree with what Duke said there, pretty much, mate. Everything he done, he a couple of the set pieces and stuff what we had as well, as usual. Cresswell standard, getting the ball on the money. Just a typical Cresswell performance. He's been like all season.
Fair enough. James Fever.
I thought he'd done all right up to the injury. He was okay. First 20 minutes, that was a bit iffy because it looked like Leicester were pinpointing, like targeting him, and all the balls were going onto him basically. So I'm gonna say 6 for me. Like he didn't finish the game, so he would have got more. So yeah, 6 for me.
Fair enough. Cal.
Yeah, I'll just give him a 7. There was nothing too fancy, nothing too wrong with it. He's unfortunate with the injury, and hopefully it's not as bad as what it probably seems like. It's at least a month out, but at least he's chosen it for the time. Ogbonna's hopefully to be back, but I'll just give him a 7.
Fair enough. James Anvil.
I'll give him a 7. He wasn't great, it wasn't bad, but just still a typical Cresswell performance. So I'll give him 7.
And West Ham Online.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. Probably one of the worst players on our team, which isn't saying he was bad, by the way. I'd probably just go with a standard 6.
Fair enough. Thomas Souček, Duke.
6.5. I'm blaming him for the first goal that they scored. His awful pass to Mass. It wasn't the greatest of controls, but it was a very poor pass when you consider what he's capable of. He offered a lot more defensively today than he does going forward, or what he did. Sorry, going forward. But again, they still, he at times he lost his runners. I felt, and at times I just felt he wasn't switched on at times. So yeah, where I'm at.
Fair enough, Milesy. Oh, I think you're on mute, mate.
Andy, you on mute, or you just pretending to talk?
Sorry. Because I'm typing as well, and I know Duke don't like the keyboard noise, so I'll put it on mute. 6 for me. I think that's probably one of his worst games in a West Ham shirt. I thought Noble was the better out of the two in midfield. He wasn't getting forward as much and getting stuck in. I don't know whether that was the yellow card which prevented that, what he got early, which was a bit harsh anyway. So. Yeah. But in my opinion, your team's on the line. You should be even trying to do blocks and stuff. So yeah, a 6 for me.
Yeah, Mike Dean and he have got a little bit of history, haven't they?
I thought it would be a red, to be fair.
Yeah, why not? James Fever.
8 for me, mate. I don't know about anyone else, but I thought he played all right today. I thought he done well. Gets booked in the first 10 minutes. What else do you expect him to do other than like hold firm and get round the pitch? A slightly poor pass to Mesowaku, but Mesowaku should do better. And yeah, box to box, covered the space. He was in there with Tielemans and Ndidi. So he's done well to sort of motor in that midfield. 8 for me.
And Cahill?
I'll give him a 7. Unfortunately, the way everything's gone, we're not going to see the same Thomas Souček for the rest of the season, or as long as Rice is out. He's going to be a blanket for Noble. He's going to be covering everything. He's going to have to do the full box to box, but I don't think he'll get up forward as much. He'll just be floating about the middle, and he got an assist. I don't know if I'm right here, but I think that might be his first assist for us.
Yeah,
So
it is, yeah.
that boosts him up at least a rating for me. But it was probably a 6 performance. But the yellow didn't help him. He had to be very cautious, especially with Mike Dean there once he got that yellow so early. So I'll just give him a rounded 7.
Fair enough. James Anvil?
I'm going to give him a 7 because I thought that challenge he did in the first half was very risky and he could have quite easily been sent off for it, where he did go in. But as we were saying, yeah, he doesn't look the same player without Declan Rice. Souček's having to defend a lot more and cover Noble a lot more. He did get an assist on the goal, though. So I'm going to give him 7, but he's not as attacking as he used to be with Rice absent.
Fair enough. And West Ham Online?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I didn't think he was brilliant, but he got an assist. He covered ground well. I do agree that he didn't track his runners at points. The first goal, I'd say, was more Masuaku, in my opinion. He, in my opinion, took too long on the ball, but I can see where you're coming from in the fact that the pass was certainly not great, and that is something he has to improve, in my opinion, at times. Souček's short passing is probably one of his worst attributes. But 7 for me.
Fair enough. West Ham Irons United's in the house. Is that Anton or is that Stell? Let us know, mate. Before we move on to the next midfielder to be given his rating, today was the 400th Premier League appearance of Mr. West Ham, Mark Noble. So, Duke, what are your thoughts on his 400th Premier League appearance? How did he rate, in your opinion?
Mate, up until the injury, I personally thought he dealt with absolutely everything that was thrown at him, and I certainly would like to think that a lot of the naysayers, if you will, might just put their shitty little comments back in their pockets, because I just thought, I'll be honest, I hold my hands up to say I didn't think he could be able to start 2 Premier League games in a week, but he did. Let's be fair. He had a good game against Wolves, and I think he's backed it up again today. I think he, when he's deployed, when Rice and Souček are playing, he's deployed elsewhere, and I just think tonight I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I'd go as far as probably 9.5. I thought he was wow. I thought he was one of the three best players on the pitch for West Ham today.
Fair enough. High praise indeed. Milesy.
An 8 for me. I can't give halves. And I don't think it's a 9
you can if you want. I'll allow it.
No, I don't do halves. Me personally, okay. I can't do it. And with a 9, I can't give him a 9 because if he stayed on the pitch, I would have gave him a 9. But the fact that he went off, it wasn't his fault, obviously. But no, everything else what he done, his experience, driving the team on. So yeah, no, I can't. And that block, what he done for the injury, that's no other player apart from Declan Rice would even think about making that challenge, in my opinion. So yeah,
fair
8
enough.
For me.
All good. James Fever.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Right? If you want to start going down the route of people slagging him off, right? I was one of the critics, but he shut me right up. Right? 10 out of 10 performance. Kept arguably one of the best midfielders in Europe in Ndidi. And Tielemans quiet, right? And 10 out of 10 performance. The block saves the goal because that's a possible goal. And let's be honest, what more do you want out of Mark Noble? 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Fair enough. Cahill?
Yeah, it's a 9 for me. I don't think that we're going to get much better than that with him. I think that's sort of the height of his ability right now, and he in the Wolves game he sort of annoyed me a bit more than he did, because he did his typical sort of wanted to get the ball the whole time and run it all himself, which I don't feel he did in this one. So I was very happy with his performance. I think that's as good as we're going to get with him.
Fair enough. James Anvil, before we get your Mark Noble rating, I've got your comment up on screen. So did you want to just sort of give it a shout out?
Yeah, so basically, whilst I was doing this, probably the reason my Wi-Fi was crap is because I was uploading this onto YouTube. The aftermath is up on my YouTube channel, so go over there, click on it, see what I've got to say in detail about the Leicester game. It's relatively child PG friendly, you know what I'm saying? So don't send the kids to bed for it. There's no need. It's clean post review without me having to call Mike Dean a certain word. So yeah, go over and watch it on my channel.
So you're rating on Mark Noble.
Okay, right on that note, I'm going to give him I think I'll give him a 9 out of 10 actually today, because Mark Noble looks really good. Looked really good today. He's actually put Shut and Ndidi up today. 34-year-old Mark Noble shut up a 24-year-old midfielder, and Mark, he got the job done today in terms of his defensive aspect, and even to put his body on the lineman to hurt his arm in the process shows kind of warrior thing. Like, he would give his all for us. And he's been playing for a few days as well, so it's probably worn down, but he did really well today.
Fair enough. West Ham Online.
Yeah. I personally didn't think he was capable of that performance, of that standard anymore. I feel that apart from the Bournemouth game when Moyes came in Moyes' first game, I'd say that was his best performance of the last 2 seasons, in my opinion. I didn't actually... bit unpopular. I thought he was okay against Wolves, but I didn't think he was anywhere near as good as he was today. I thought he absolutely ran the show today, and he was my personal man of the match, in my opinion. I thought it was brilliant. I'd probably give him a 9. Well, as you said, indeed, he played like a hot deflated air balloon out there. The man was shocking. Instead of comparing him to Rice, they might want to start comparing him to Connor Coventry, because he's nowhere near his standards. But yeah, Noble, fantastic for me. Ran the show, absolutely ran the show. First half especially, I thought it was fantastic. He done that great block, which resulted in him getting injured, and hopefully he'll be okay for Newcastle, which I didn't think I'd end up saying 2 weeks ago. So yeah, Mark Noble, fantastic. 400th appearance. Let's hope that he has 47 good more appearances.
That'd be good. So the guy that played on the right, we've got Pablo Fornals. Duke.
If I'm honest, sitting here and I was writing down the players left to go and trying to work out, as obviously you got to these guys, got to me with this, and I'm struggling, if I'm honest, to pinpoint any key points in the game where he showed up.
Right.
And it's hard. Yeah, I just see that came up, and I wouldn't be as asked to say a 5. I'd probably go a 6, because I just can't see where, without just being a dick, I just don't see where he contributed attackingly or defensively, like stood out attackingly or defensively in the game. I'm struggling to think of a point in the game where I can think to myself that I was watching the game and went, oh, that was superb, lovely, well done, Pablo. There was nothing. So yeah, I'll go a 6, mate.
Milesy?
Same for me, a 6. It just reminded me, do you know, like when you first take your dog over the park and they don't know what to do, when you take them off the lead and you just like run around. It just reminded me of that, to be perfectly honest. He was just running one way and the ball was going the other. It's like, do you know, like when you're trying to play fetch with it or keep the ball away. Yeah, no, 6 for me. But like you said, it didn't cost us and we got the job done.
Fair enough. James Fever?
5 for me, mate.
Care to elaborate?
good first half. Went AWOL second half. This player is basically supposed to be an attacking midfielder, and he's very rarely in attacking final third. And he's only scored, I think, 4 goals all season, and he's had 14 starts. So, and X amount of games this season. So, in about 25 plus games. So, he needs to do a bit more, really, if I'm honest. And obviously, I've got a player that I really want to see playing all the time, and he's sitting on the bench all the time. So, yeah, 5 for me.
Fair enough. Cahill.
I'll give him a 6. Like I could be looking at him with tinted glasses because I'm a big fan. I just like the way he never stops running. He's just energy. He's just full energy. I know it might not be quick and it's his own pace he runs at, but I think he's the middleman. I'd count Lingard and Bowen as the attackers. He's
good comment.
Yeah. What does he count? Work hard.
That comment.
I think he just.
Sorry to butt in there, but that's a brilliant comment what Scott's has put there. Ken, it gets mentioned every week. I feel like it's a myth that work hard every week. Like, he works hard, but there's no anything else. I don't know about anyone else there.
Fair point.
I think he's the middleman when he's in there, though. I think there's the attackers, and then there's him who sort of brings the midfield into the attack. Because at this stage, Souček and Nobes are half defenders a lot of the time. Because when we're playing counter-attacking football, when we win the ball from a counter, they're basically in the box. They're defending at that stage. So he is the middleman. He is the man who's bringing the ball to the attackers to go up and do their business.
Fair enough. James Anvil?
I'm going to give him a 6 because the thing, I actually didn't really notice Pablo Fornals at all in this game. If I'm all honest with you, I didn't notice him really doing anything. I mean, he didn't. When they mentioned Pablo Fornals was playing, I was like, oh, he's actually on the pitch. Because he didn't really do much. I mean, yeah, all right, he nearly got on the end of that cross for the first goal, but apart from that, I don't remember him doing much. So I'm going to give him a 6.
Fair enough. West Ham Online.
What I will say is I want to find out when the next Ghostbusters is in cinema, because I wouldn't be surprised if he plays a leading role. In all seriousness, I think no. In all seriousness, I think what you do notice about
who are you going to call?
Not Pablo.
When he doesn't.
No, use like it's Mazaraco. You call.
Oh, we're coming to him, James. We're coming to him.
In a minute. I've not had my Mazda say yet, so I'll come to that in a minute. But Pablo, what I will say with Pablo is when he doesn't play, we do look less fluid, in my opinion, when he doesn't play. However, at the same time, I literally forgot him when talking about the players in my post-match on Instagram, which tells you quite a lot. After the game finished, and as I said, I couldn't watch the game live, I looked on Instagram, and the usual Fornals lovers were going mad over his performance. I was like, Christ, he must have played well. Watched the game, and I couldn't have told you he was playing, as James said. So, yeah, I think I'll give him a 6.
Fair enough. Just before I get to sort of the main man, let's just look at this, guys. Since the February the 3rd, the person with the most goal involvements, let alone goals scored in the Premier League, is this gentleman, certain Jesse Lingard. Look at that.
Wow.
Quite incredible, isn't it? And 8 goals, 3 assists, 11 goal involvements.
Yeah, and look at that. And look at that, right? Ain't that a good sight? Our lone player has got more goals than our current striker. But say no more. Say no more. Say no more, mate.
But one thing, but Gatesy, I don't know if you saw, but Antonio was at the bottom there with 4 assists.
He's on the list in fairness to him, yeah.
At least he's on the list.
So anyway, Duke, Jesse Lingard.
I thought again his movement. Listen, you can't wax lyrical enough about the guy. I do believe someone posted up earlier on Twitter about chucking the Ballon d'Or at the guy. that he's one of the favourites to at least be nominated for the Ballon d'Or just for his appearances for us on this. And he's just, I just think he's been absolutely immense. My only concern is that if he continues this run of form, which, don't get me wrong, right now he's going to see us in the Champions League. Let's not dick around. But it's attracting a lot of everyone else, a lot of attention from everyone else. And I was having a conversation with the old man earlier, based around the fact that, you know, if we want him, other people are going to want him, and there's going to be other teams out there that will probably spend a bit more money than us on bringing him in. He himself made a comment last week that he'd rather go back and fight, or he would like to go back and fight for his place at Man United, but really wants hopes that he continues to play alongside Declan Rice, which for me seems like he might be a bit of an Agent Lingard right now. And you know, I think if he does come to West Ham, I'd really hope that he puts it in his contract that the reason he's signing is that we don't sell Declan Rice, that's part of the reason he signs. Today he was absolutely fantastic for the first, hour, 70 minutes. He faded out of the game towards the end. That could be the fact that he's putting in a lot of running. Again, he's another guy that hasn't played a huge amount of football this season. Until he come to us, that's where his games have actually, appeared from. So for me, I'd give him a 9. As I say, Noble and him, 2 of the 3 best players on the pitch.
Fair enough. Malsey?
9 as well for me. Everyone just seems to switch on, and the main person who I think is Bowen. Bowen's definitely shining on with Lingard in the team. The football runs what he makes, and you can tell they're working on that in training. But like I said earlier, before we'd done these ratings, I thought the last 20 minutes or so he was invisible. But yeah, don't get me wrong, we didn't really have much at the ball. But I just thought maybe he could have been a bit more smarter in his running, so to speak. I know, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of running he does, but I thought maybe he could have made some space and maybe gave us more of an out ball, like what Antonio does running down the channels when we're knocking the ball long, so to speak. So yeah, a 9 for me though.
James Fever?
10 out of 10. 2 goals, an assist, top class performance. He's the difference between us winning the game and drawing the game today. These 2 goals have made us, has got us 3 points, along with the semi-assist for the Bowen goal, where he's involved in that. The geezer needs to be signed. If he's not signed and he goes back to Manchester, I don't believe he is going back to Manchester. I think that's just to bump the price up for Manchester United. I think that ship's well and truly sailed. I think this is a tough one for us, because we want him to do well for us and to get us in the Champions League, but it's going to cost. And that's the problem. So in the summer, we're either going to have Champions League football, no Lingard, or we're going to have Europa League football and possibly Lingard. So it's one of them ones. But today, he done everything we asked him to do. He went out of steam towards the end, but I don't blame him. He's running everywhere. He's the only striker at the club at the minute, and 10 out of 10 for me.
Cahill, Jesse Lingard, your thoughts?
It's a 9. Who would have thought that when we were linked with him at the end of the window, that when he was our striker, our solution for our striker problem, that he would have ended up like this? It's mental, and hopefully we can keep him. It's just one of those, you have to let him play every game and play as well as he can, and hope we get it in the end. There's no point worrying about it now, because we've other things in our heads. We just have to go through every game. But as it comes, that's another one of the Lingard performances. Sort of, he's a regular 8 or 9 for us so far. So I'll give him a 9.
Fair enough. James Anvil?
9. I think he's changed the whole dynamic of the team, Jesse Lingard. He's come here to West Ham with a point to prove. to get his form back on track and hopefully make a big bid for the Euros. I think his ship with Man United is well and truly sailed. And if he wants to do the best thing for his career and for his future in football, he should get out of Man United. I can't see him getting back into the first team there. Go to where he's loved. He's loved at West Ham. He's got a good bond with the players here. He's bought into the club almost immediately. The fact that he's doing that as a celebration and using that emoji on Instagram and social media, he's got a connection with the club. Lingard wanting to sign, obviously. I'll give him a 9 today.
West Ham Online, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought he played quite well. Obviously, his first goal was terrific. When I first saw it, I thought it took a massive deflection. Then I watched it back and I was like, wow, he really did just hit it round the players and into that bottom corner. The second goal, don't get me wrong, Duke would have scored it, but it was great movement and he had to be there to finish it. to finish it. Yeah, I thought Lingard played well. Last 20, he was.
Have you know I would have skied it?
Yeah, well, you never know. I've never.
I would have put it over the bar. Let's not lie.
Yeah. Anyway, Lingard. The thing is, what I will say is, I reckon he does want to stay now. I reckon he's seen what's going on at the club. He's seen the team spirit. He's seen the fact that he was literally not even on the bench at Man United. I mean, he was about as likely to get in the matchday squad as Margaret, the dinner lady at Man United. So honestly, he should stay at West Ham. I see no reason he'd want to go back to Man United to play as a backup to a player who he's outperforming at the moment. So yeah, 8. Yeah, I'll go 8 in my opinion.
Fair enough. So now we come to, I suspect possibly this one might be quite contentious. And I notice he's left at this point as we're coming to him. Arthur Masuaku.
Where's he gone?
Honestly, and I'm really not doing it to be facetious or to create problems. Listen, he had all right, listen, he was involved in 2 of the goals. All right. The cross he put in for the first goal that went out to Soufal for me was an attacker's dream. It really was. It was a great cross. Someone mentioned earlier, Pablo was almost on the end of it. Almost isn't good enough. A striker would have been there and would have put that in the back of the net. Anyone else gets into the box and it would have been job done. Again, he's run for the 3rd goal. He's the one that lays it inside to Souček in space, that then lays it through to Bowen to put the ball in the back of the net. So 2 pre-assists, if you will, from King Arthur. He made one mistake in the game that resulted in a goal. You could dig out Dawson. You could dig out Diop for not picking up the runners. Their second goal. Who was the man at the back post that decided to try and tickle Iniacho under the armpit rather than trying to go and win the ball? Just kind of stood there and watched him almost fall over in between 2 defenders. I mean, for me, I'm gonna go an 8. People are digging him out for me for no reason, and there's other, and it's not just James that's digging him out. I've seen stuff on social media that I just don't agree with. I don't think the pass was fantastic from Souček. No, his control wasn't great. But you know what? You try and control that ball from Souček. No, okay, I'm not a Premier League player. You're not a Premier League player. He is. Is he? According to everyone else, he's not. So he's going to have a touch like a fucking barn door, isn't he? So I'd give him an 8 personally. I don't think he had as bad a game as everyone's making him out to be.
No,
fair enough. Milesy?
Yeah. Same with Duke, mate. The situations what he gets himself in, like going forward, like you said, is a dream. Like the amount of times when Creswell passed the ball to him, and he's going to either. I thought just his normal passing, even into Souček or Noble, was on point today. That's where he gets stick, and he wasn't afraid to pass the ball back if he needed to take. He lost the ball a couple of times, but who doesn't? No, for me, an 8. And don't get me wrong, that mistake. But if he didn't make that mistake, it would have been higher. And I think it was the ball, personally.
Yep.
Fair enough. Cahill?
I'll give him a 7. I think he was involved in the two goals. He intercepted the one for what was Bowen's goal, and he put in a cross that would have been Antonio's dream. Antonio would have been in dreamland for a cross like that. He would have found a way to stretch to get it, or he would have got his head on it. He would have bloody hit it in with his back if he had to. That is the ball. That's the sort of man you want on the wing or wing back or whatever you want to call him when you have someone like Antonio on the pitch. I know he made balls of it when they scored, but I'll just give him a 7. I don't think he was I don't think there's anything to start a civil war over with him. I don't think there's that big of an issue, and I don't think he needs to be dropped or anything like that. I think 7.
Fair enough. James Anvil.
7. I didn't think he had a bad game at all, and like I say, his pass to Lingard contributed to the Bowen goal. Masuaku put that ball in. I think it was Masuaku that put that ball in that Fornals missed, and it led to Lingard's goal anyway. So Masuaku didn't do as badly as people make him out to. So I'm going to give him a 7.
Fair enough. West Ham Online.
Before I go into my rating, what was the discussion you all had about him earlier? What was the general?
You don't need just go back and watch it. You're fine.
Yeah, I don't know whether that will change my decision. Personally, I thought until the 70th minute, he was fantastic. I thought his general play was good. I thought his crossing was good. I thought he was involved in the goals for the second game in a row. And I thought that he drew defenders in was one of the main reasons why we were 3-0 up. What I will say is he really does need to learn when and when not to dribble around the back. Because at times you feel like you're going to fall off your seat and faint when he's got the ball and he's trying to take on 5 men in the 90th minute.
Even Moyes was screaming at him. You could see that. You could hear it as well. Yeah. He was sort of wagging his finger at him over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Moyes was about to faint, honestly. But Masuaku, despite that, I don't think that's a problem in his game, but it's not something you can bring him down for because only one of the goals was his fault, in my opinion, and even that you could argue either way. So I'd give him a 7 / a 7.5 personally.
Fair enough. And the last of the starters, Duke, Jared Bowen.
Again, for me, as I was mentioning earlier, one of the 3 best players on the pitch. I thought he chased everything. I thought his effort, his energy levels were just phenomenal. I think was it James? I think mentioned it earlier in the conversation about the link up play between him and Lingard. I think he was just I'm not going to say he was faultless today because I think there were times when a release of the ball would have been more prudent or dropping into a position and a different run. You could say the same thing for when Soufal broke and absolutely bottled the shot. I personally think the run from Bowen could have been better. But then on the other flip side to that, just bloody lever the ball, son. Stick your foot through it. If it goes Rosette, it goes Rosette. You're a right back. No one's going to hate you for it. What pissed me off was the fact he didn't take that chance. But Bowen, for me, I'm going to go 9. Like I say, energy levels were fantastic. He deserved his goal. He got his FIFA sweaty for Lingard's goal that I probably would have skied. Thank you, West Ham Online. He will get better and better and better, and he's going to be. I personally think he's going to be a phenomenal player for us going forward. I really, really do. I really like him.
Fair enough, Milesy, your thoughts?
Right. Even though I gave Fabianski a 9, the reason why I gave him a 9 was because of the 2 goals he conceded, and he was my man of the match. But Bowen gets a 10. It sounds very weird, but it isn't. if that makes sense, that's the reason why I'm. Yeah. But no, everything he done today turned to gold. And the reason for that is, I don't know whether you noticed, he wasn't playing as the winger today. Him and Lingard were playing as a front two. And the Leicester just didn't know how to deal with him. Fofana, when the thing what made me laugh was, sorry if I'm going on a rant, was Alan Smith and all that saying Fofana's meant to be the next best thing. Lingard and Bowen had him on toast all game. Yeah. I don't know what the fascination was with him. He was getting fouled constantly by Evans, and he wasn't really getting nothing from it. And he is, like I said, I think I mentioned, he's like a little Jack Russell who just keeps nabbing at your heels, and that's what he does. He doesn't give defenders time to react. And yeah, great performance for me, 10 out of 10.
Fair enough. He actually got the Sky Man of the Match, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I thought so. Cahill, your thoughts on Jarrod Bowen's performance?
I'll give him a 9. I think put him in that sort of switch around striker role that they're in. They're just moving around wherever they want, and the freedom of it works very well. It's unorthodox. Defenders don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to deal with that sort of stuff, because he doesn't even know where he's meant to be half the time. He's just running wherever there's space, and he has the stamina for it. He has the legs for it, and I think he had sort of a Pablo Fornals like performance, but he had the end product on it. He never stopped running, and it was great. It's great to see him back to that, because for the last 3 games he's been great, but before that, a month and a half, maybe 2 months, I didn't even want to see him on the pitch at times. His decision making and everything was just wasn't great, and he's been a revelation of himself in the last few games. So can't say anything but praise for him.
Fair enough. James Anvil.
9 for Jarrod Bowen. He's got his spot back, and I think playing different positions has helped him to find his confidence again, just in front of goal. On the wing, he's been pretty good on the wing. It's his natural winger, but up front, he's been just as clinical, especially when he gets into one-on-one situations. Close range poacher effort today added to that, so it's a little bit of a different goal, but he was good today. Bowen, no good's better than good. He was excellent, so I'm going to give him 9.
Fair enough. And West Ham Online.
I agree with James. Everything James just said, I agree with. 9 for me. I'm going to take you back quickly on a little bit of we're going to go on a boat ride back to Wednesday evening. I put out on Twitter when the usual Moyes haters were hating on Moyes for basically because he's fourth, which apparently isn't appropriate. Because the real reason was because Moyes sold Haller. And now, obviously now Antonio's injured, they were complaining, we don't have a striker. I put out, I'd rather have Bowen up front than Haller. I think he suits our game better than Haller, and I'd rather
have Jim Bowen up front than Haller.
Yeah, exactly. And I also said,
Bully's special prize.
Take a look at what you could have won.
Sorry, West Ham, go on.
I'll share a birthday with him.
Yeah. And then I put I'd rather have Bowen up front than any of these useless lone strikers who they all wanted. Once again, these top West Ham accounts on Twitter have been made to look like mugs, look like they are every single week. Haller is about as useful as a spoon in an arm wrestle, whereas Bowen completely suits our style of play. So 9 for me. I don't get what they're on about, and hopefully now they open their eyes and actually start watching football instead of looking at Haller's stats at Frankfurt.
I was in a Athers chat earlier, and there was an Ajax fan in it, and he said Haller's getting good stats for them, but he's nothing great to watch, and they don't think he's playing amazingly. They don't think he's as good as they were expecting. He's like I always backed him when he was playing, but I never had full trust in him. I don't think he suited the league. He was too sluggish and too slow, a bit wasteful as well.
Sorry, I just saw a stat. Bowen. I know you love a stat, Gatesy. Even though Noble didn't finish the game, he done more running than Ndidi in the whole game.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
For a 34-year-old, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, more running than Haller's ever done.
Super, smashing, great. Which leaves us with one person left to mark, and that is David Moyes himself. Duke.
Did we win?
I believe so.
I think we did. No,
Moyes has set his team up to go out. Fitness showed a part towards the end. I think we ran ourselves into the ground in that first 70 minutes. But Moyes did his job, and he did his job correctly to the best of his ability with the best, resources that he's got at his disposal. And he's done that all season, as far as I'm concerned, and we're sitting fourth because of it. For all the second guessing that every single one of us can do, and it's essentially, what we're here for. As West Ham fans, we will always second guess. We will always, criticise. But I will criticise when criticism is due. He doesn't deserve any from me. And as Luke said there, it's a 10 out of 10. What more do we want? What more do we want from the guy? We all criticised him when we didn't go out and we didn't get a second striker. Or another striker, should I say, because he felt confident in what we had. You know what? Antonio went down and we were all sitting here going, see, told you. And I'll be included in that. Even I went, see, told you, should have gone out and got a striker. Guess what? He was confident in his team, confident in what the players he's got, and 2 wins on the trot now in games that were pivotal. I said last week when someone turned around and said in the live chat, is the Leicester game the most important game for 5 years? Yeah, it is for 7 days. And then Newcastle now is the most important game that we've had in 5 years. And then following that, the Chelsea game will be, et cetera, et cetera. You get where I'm going with this. Listen, all hail the Mosiah. I've got full faith in him. And hopefully, as I've said, whisper it. Just whisper it. Don't let anyone else cotton on yet, but just whisper it. I'm not going to do it because she listens to me. Hang on, let me put her on mute. Alexa, play the Champions League music.
Copyright. Copyright. Quick, Duke, get it off.
Copyright. Daniel.
There you go. I've muted him. I think we might just get away with that.
Give us a thumbs up. You cheeky bastard. I took the line off. It weren't me.
Milesy. David Moyes.
Moyes don't only get the 9 out of 10. His backroom staff get a 9 out of 10.
Yes.
Really. Oh, just turned on the pitch. Yes, my G. 100 miles an hour. Just turned on the pitch. Sorry.
For me, the most underrated coach is Nevin. He if you see what he's like like a waiter in a restaurant when you just demand them point and he's always on the thing. And no, everything was spot on. I thought the subs, the only criticism why he's getting the 9 and not a 10 was I know we discussed it earlier, Conor Coventry should have come on when Noble went off. That's my only criticism, what I thought, because Ben Johnson just didn't know what to do. So, yeah. But no, him and the team him and his backroom staff were spot on. So a 9 out of 10 for me.
Fair enough. Cahill.
Yeah, it was a 9 for me. I agree with what Andy said there. I think maybe they trust Johnson more, and he might be a better footballer. But at least Coventry knows his position, and then he'd have his body in the way of in the right positions at least. But I think there's nothing you can complain about. We're having the time of our lives here, so there's nothing you can complain about. Everyone in the back team is just. They're just all perfect. Like it's just I don't even know. I'm getting messed up here because it's so hard to explain how good and how excited how I am with all this going on. I'll just give them a 9. We're grand.
Fair enough. James Anvil.
Moyes, 10 out of 10 for Moyes and 10 out of 10 for his backroom staff. Those backroom staff know the stuff. We got Kevin Nolan and Stuart Pearson, 2 former West Ham players who understand the club. Nolan was a leader at West Ham as a captain and was a good player as well. He's buying into the club. Nolan's got the players working a lot, and Moyes is the one who's just taking everything the coaches do and just putting it into his own thing and having the final decision and everything. So honestly, we say it a lot, but we can trust Moyes to do things these days because he knows what he's doing. He's shown he's competent.
Fair enough. See you later, Ken. Enjoy. West
We'll
Ham
probably be on last anyway. So
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I honestly, you know what this fan base is like. I saw more criticism of Moyes at the final whistle than I saw praise. Which, you know, maybe they were going at the 2 goals conceded again, but people asked for entertainment and the fact we were winning games in boring manner, 1-0. Then when we start getting entertaining, yes, okay, it causes a few heart attacks, but then you get people saying, "Oh, we're
my
ridiculous."
hair's fallen out. Look.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is Moyes can't win with this fan base at times. Everyone here, I'm sure, will agree with me because I'm surrounded by level-headed fans right now. Moyes has done a fantastic job. Moyes has done a fantastic job, and the only person who expected Moyes to do this well in terms of coming forth is Peach, because that man predicts 6-0 wins every week. So credit to Peach for predicting it, and credit to Moyes for doing a great job. And I'd just like to quickly say, when Moyes goes, I ideally don't want to go looking for a new manager that's, you know, like Manuel Pellegrini or anyone who's a big name, a big English name like Frank Lampard or a big foreigner. I want to get one of the people from the backroom staff like Kevin Nolan or someone like that who's doing a great job now, and give them the opportunity when Moyes' time to go ever happens. So, yeah, brilliant. 9 for me.
Fair enough. And just to bring this to your attention, I don't know, Oh, go on. What's up?
He said the FL word.
He mentioned, well, he actually said big name. Now, I think he actually means fat man. I'm not, I don't know where you came from with that, but we try not to mention that prick's name on our channel. Carry on, Gatesy.
No, that's fine, no problem. I was just going to bring this, and I don't know, you may or may not be aware of this, you guys in the panel and those of you watching at home, but just bring this up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
32 points in the calendar year of 2021. The only team that tops that list ahead of us is Manchester City, but we're ahead of Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Spurs, and Liverpool as far as this calendar year is concerned.
That's mad.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's something to be proud of. I mean, how many times have we done that in a calendar year? Here we sit in April.
We're lucky if we get that in a season.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. To be fair, let's be fair. That's a struggle to get past that.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Even if we finish 5th, Moyes deserves manager of the year.
Even if we finish,
he won't get it.
Yeah, I think he will.
He won't get it, but yeah.
I think he will.
He deserves it, but you know, I mean, he's operated on an absolute shoestring. I mean, it will go to Pep because they'll win the Premier League, and it always goes to the Premier League winners, pretty much, doesn't it? But what's up, Duke?
Can I just say that arouses me, that comment?
Does it?
That arouses me, that comment. I'd love that. Could we chuck in PDC and Julian into that mix as well? Because fucking hell.
I'd have Julian back at the team.
That'd be amazing, that lineup. Carrick, Cole, Noble, PDC, Julian Diggs. Christ.
And Nolan, just to spice it up.
We'll have to keep Kev. Yeah, all right. We'll keep Kev in.
If it does, Duke, I'd suggest not acting on that feeling live. Because you might get
not on camera. Listen, I'm not going to get caught out like the guys on AFTV did when they had their live stream and he was in bed. You're not going to catch me out like that.
Yeah, the only thing X-rated comes from Gates's camera anyway.
It's true, yes.
Are we talking about his trim? Or...
No. One of my sons was walking around bare-chested a little bit early. You missed it.
He wasn't hold up. He was in a towel. As he
Oh, he was in a towel. I missed that bit.
He was in the towel on the waist down. We're crying out loud. Carlos Sanchez, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
How not to be like him. That's how he would.
Gatesy, can I say the words now? What I've been saying for the last 2 weeks.
We're well past 9 o'clock. So if it involves swearing, crack on.
What are we?
We are fucking massive.
Come on,
come on, you Iron.
Can you do your usual daily countdown?
What's that?
Andy's usual daily countdown that he's begun doing. I like hearing that each day.
Oh, ready? Wait for it.
Oh dear.
5 days, 12 hours, 34 minutes and 25 seconds.
Until what, Monty?
Duke's Pub.
Until I worked off my arse like you lot.
Well, no, that's tomorrow. So just 2 things I'd like to say before we all clear off. If you guys could subscribe to not only our channel, Falls from Iron West Ham United, but also Hammer's Polls, because obviously James Fever was here earlier. So out of courtesy to him, if you could give him a subscribe as well. And also from the Anvil West Ham United, because that is the YouTube channel of James Snedden there at the bottom in the centre. That would be fantastic. And we thank you very much indeed for your support on that matter. Yeah, don't poke him in the head. That's not very friendly. Last little thing to cover off. Those of you that remain and anyone that watches it at a later stage that's got to this point, we at Falls from Iron, and also I'm sure I speak on behalf of everybody else in the stream with me here. We're all behind this campaign for Isla Caton. She's a 6-year-old girl with neuroblastoma. This is a really rare and aggressive form of cancer which tends to afflict children in the main, for which there is no treatment on the NHS. Her family got to stop what they're doing, take her to wherever in the world to get the treatment that's going to save her life, fingers crossed. They've got to pay for flights, they've got to pay for the treatment, they've got to pay for accommodation while they're out there, their living costs. The bills are still going to be coming in the UK. That doesn't stop. This is all really expensive, let alone the stress, and doing it in the middle of a global pandemic. Guys, this is less than ideal, let me tell you. So we are putting our weight behind this campaign to try and get this girl the treatment that she needs to save her life. You've got a PayPal page, you've got a Just Giving page. Any donation that you've got to put into the pot, no donation is too small, from £1 upwards. The more you can put in, the better, obviously. But if all you can put in is £1, we thank you very much for your donation. We would also ask you, if you can or if you can't, whichever way, if you can or can't donate, either way, could you take this message, guys, and get this out there on all your social media platforms, text message, whatever. Get this out there to all your friends, your family, your work colleagues. Share it, get it out there. We need to get the momentum going, guys, because it is no exaggeration to say the clock is ticking for this little girl, and we need to try and make sure that we do everything we can to ensure that there is a happy ending to this story. Thank you very much indeed for listening. Okay, so I'm just going to, before we wrap it up, I'm just going to have a quick look in the comments just to make sure that I haven't missed anything whilst I was doing my my campaign. Luke turns around and says, don't look at your groin when you do that, Andy. Mark turns around and says, Duke, I was in Green Hive before moving to Scotland.
Yeah,
he got out there in one piece. And he's asking the question. Yeah. Is your pub by Cox Edge Fish and Chips? Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes,
indeed.
it is. That's him.
Great fish and chip shop.
Luke says Team Isla.
And next Saturday, we're live.
Yeah, we are indeed. What was this? So Mark's turned around and said, I think I saw us lose at Birmingham in the League Cup semi in the Ball Pub. I think, was that 2011? Was that the year they won it, Mark? Because I was actually at the first leg. We won it 2-1, I think. And then I think we went up there and lost 3-1, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was slightly before my time. I've only been here 6 years. So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, of course it's next to a chip shop. It's nice and convenient. That was why he took it on.
Well, I chose it.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott says,
Gatesy,
cheers, guys.
Just quickly before we go, I just want to. I want to apologise, but I don't want to apologise. If you see what I mean, I'm certainly not gonna. I'm certainly not gonna apologise for my comments. My reaction was. How can I put it? I wouldn't say it was over the top, but it was a very. I got a little bit emotional. I don't see why we have to badmouth players when I don't think they had a bad game. It's just because that's the sort of opinion we have of them. Yes, if they have a good game, they deserve praise. So I apologise if anyone felt that I got a bit out of hand. It is what it is.
Same here.
But I'm not going to change.
Duke,
I'm not going to change it.
Duke, I'd like to disagree with you. I think showing that you actually care about what's being said is the best part of football debates. And I think your reaction was perfect. I think it was great viewing. And more again next time, in my opinion.
Thank you very much.
And in the words of Bricktop, get your tongue out of my arsehole.
So I'd like to say...
No, he's not sending you next week.
I'd like to say thank you, West Ham Online. Thanks for joining us, West Ham Online.
No problem. I feel like I'm getting violated now, so I better get out quick.
And I'd like to say thank you to James from the Anvil.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks to Cahill.
Thanks, lads. It was good to join.
Thank you very much for coming. Thanks to Milesy.
Oh, no.
Thanks to David Moyes.
Thanks to David Moyes. And thanks to Duke.
You went the wrong way. No, listen, thank you. I don't mind the heated discussions. They get a bit of fun. Yeah, all right. Oh, wrong way. I'm going this way. They get a bit of fun. Sometimes they can get a bit. People can overreact slightly, and just sometimes if I feel like if I feel like I'm right on an opinion, I'll fight until the end. And I will argue until I'm blue in the face. So yeah, it is what it is. We'll keep doing this channel as long as you guys keep watching. So yeah, there we go.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hit end broadcast. Thank you very much indeed for coming. Only one thing left to say. We are fourth, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a Champions League position with now 7 games to go. Come on, you Irons.
Andy, what are we?
Have that, Tottenham.
We are fucking massive.
Yeah, we are. Come on, you Irons.